What's up, you guys? It's Steve here, and take a look at this. Just came out late last night. Breaking news from Jackie Heinrich. New thread. Moderate Democrats get backup from GOP. Democrats and Republicans coming together, listen to this, to squeeze Nancy Pelosi and force the bipartisan infrastructure bill. Wow, you guys. If you're going to go up against Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi, you got to get the House, the Senate, Democrats, and Republicans all to try to take down Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi. You guys, this is your stimulus check update and your stimulus package update, and there's no guarantees that you still might win. And take a look at this. Pelosi is losing her patience with centrists on the infrastructure deal. Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi has something to say, and I'm going to share with you what she is going to do. It says, amateur hour. Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi says, this is no time for amateur hour. And she said, I will not surrender. And you guys, I'm going to be sharing with you what's going to be happening here this upcoming week. So I'm going to dive right in and get you caught up on the latest. If you're going to go up against Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi, you better come with moderate Democrats, progressive Democrats, and Republicans to try to take down Nancy Pelosi, because she is a tough one, you guys. So we're going to dive right in and get you caught up on the latest as of today, August 17th, 2021, as to what's going on with this stimulus package. And as you know, it's the second portion of the infrastructure bill, and they also are fighting with that first portion of the infrastructure bill as well. So I'm going to get you caught up on all the details. We're going to dive right in. But before we do, if you could do me a quick favor, just takes a second. If you like and appreciate these updates, keeping you up to date on everything that's going on with infrastructure, stimulus, Congress, the economy, unemployment, any of that good stuff having to do with money, don't forget to take a second to just smash that like button. I would appreciate it. Just takes a second. Really helps me out a ton. Thank you so much. Also, this is your first time here, you want to stay up to date on everything that's going on right now, don't forget to take a second to smash the subscribe button, turn on that notification bell, come join the Ram fam. Keep you up to date on everything that's going on. And also, if you got any specific questions that you want me to answer, be sure to shoot them to me in the DM on Instagram at SteveRam3. That's the best way to get a hold of me if you got any specific questions that you want answered. But with that being said, you guys, let's dive right in. I'm going to get you caught up on what's going on right now with the battle of pretty much all of Congress and Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi on infrastructure and stimulus. All right, you guys, so first up, just a little bit of context for you, just in case you're wondering what in the world is going on in Congress. So as you know, right now, they are working on the infrastructure package, which is comprised of two particular parts. The first one is $1 trillion in infrastructure spending for roads, bridges, highways, traditional infrastructure like you'd think. And the second portion is what they're calling human infrastructure. It's essentially going to be the next stimulus package. It's going to be money for people, and it's $3.5 trillion, the largest that we have seen so far. Now, what we've seen unfold is Republicans and Democrats came together in the Senate, and they passed the first portion. They have the official bill, and they have it ready. It's now ready to go on to the House. And now Democrats in the Senate are working on that second portion for $3.5 trillion in stimulus. And it has no Republican support, so this is not going to go through the traditional means. It has to go through a process known as reconciliation, which means the majority can go ahead and pass it through. So normally in the Senate, when they're going to be passing a bill, it has to get 60 votes. Out of the 100 senators, 60 of them at least have to vote to pass it through. Well, through the process of reconciliation, they only need majority, which means 50. And as you know, right now, the Senate is split 50-50. So in order for them to pass it through, they literally have to get every single Democrat on board, all 50 of them, to get it passed. Well, what we've heard is that Senators Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema, moderate Democrats in the Senate, amongst those 50. Moderate meaning they're kind of right in between. They're not really super far Democrat. They're actually a little bit closer to Republican, right in the middle. They both came out and said that they're not sure that they're on board with a $3.5 trillion stimulus package, saying that's a lot of money, and we're not sure if we want to spend all of that. We could agree to stimulus, but we'd like to see a smaller package. Well, with that being said, Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi, as you know, once the Senate finishes these bills, they're going to send them over to the House. She said, you know what? That first portion you just finished, you just hold on to it until you get done with that second portion, and then send them both over at the same time. And here's why. Because Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi wants to make sure that there is that second portion for more stimulus done, and she's afraid that if she passes in the House that first portion for infrastructure, and then it goes on to the president and gets signed into law, that Kyrsten Sinema and Joe Manchin, they might never get on board, and we might never see stimulus. So she said, you know what? go ahead and take your time getting that stimulus done. As a matter of fact, we're not passing anything in the House for the month of August. And once you have it ready, hopefully in September, then bring them both over at the same time and we'll pass them tandem together. Well, that kind of put Joe Manchin to silence, and now they're working away on that $3.5 trillion. But now what we're hearing is that House Democrats in Nancy Pelosi's chamber, came out, moderate Democrats, and said, you know what? Maybe when that stimulus package comes, we won't vote for it unless you pass the infrastructure first. To which Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi has said that she might take into consideration some means by which they can pass things, but she's still trying to do them tandem. Well, now we've got a report out that says that Republicans in the House now have joined those Democrats in the House, saying that they might not vote for stimulus either unless she passes infrastructure first, you guys. So, man, everybody, Nancy Pelosi in one corner versus pretty much almost all of moderate Congress. So let's take a look at this article that came out that's going to give us an update as to what we can expect to see. So link in the description below to this article that just came out today that says GOP Representative Fitzpatrick says Pelosi doesn't have the votes to block the infrastructure bill on the House floor. Moderate Democrats and Republicans aim to squeeze Pelosi and force bipartisan infrastructure, you guys. So it looks like they're trying to push through infrastructure, and we're going to see if they can come to an agreement to get infrastructure and stimulus. So the article says that moderate Republican Representative Brian Fitzpatrick said on yesterday, that there are likely enough GOP votes for the bipartisan infrastructure bill to overcome the number of Democrats vowing to block it as centrists from both parties pressure House Speaker Nancy Pelosi to bring the legislation for a vote. Now, Fitzpatrick, the co-chairman of the House of the Problem Solvers Caucus, also warned that moderate Republicans could turn against the compromise legislation passed by the Senate if Pelosi delays the bill's consideration or ties it to the Democrats' $3.5 trillion spending plan, aka that stimulus package that she wants to see, and they hope to pass via budget reconciliation. Now, if the BIF is standalone, that first portion for infrastructure, there's significant Republican support. The congressman from outside Philadelphia told Fox News. Now, if the BIF is linked to another bill, like that stimulus package, or held up for months, the support may fall apart, pretty much threatening to derail the entire thing. Well, you guys, we got a response back from Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi. You're going to want to take a look at this link in the description below, this article that just came out today that says Pelosi loses her patience with the centrists on the infrastructure deal, and it literally says, the gloves, you guys, they're coming off. Now, this article says amateur hour. It says, this is no time for amateur hour. Pelosi told her team on a private call last night, there is no way we can pass those bills unless we do it in order that we had originally planned. The plan that Nancy Pelosi has put together. And it says on the call, Pelosi reconfirmed plans to pass a rule next week that would cover the budget resolution, voting rights legislation, and the bipartisan infrastructure bill. As Pelosi wrote over the weekend, while Democrats plan to bring the budget resolution and voting rights leadership up for a vote, they are only advancing the infrastructure bill through this rule, not voting on its passage. So she's clarifying, I'm not passing this. We're just going ahead and saying that we are going to pass it on to the next step, but it is not going on to the president. Now, calling their bluff, as one Democrat put it simply to us, House leadership will put the budget resolution on the floor next week and will dare moderates to vote no. For the first time, America's children have leverage, and I will not surrender that leverage. Pelosi told her leadership team Monday night, you guys, so she is not backing down. Now, it's unclear how this forceful approach will sit with the centrist Democrats. Right now, there are 11 Democrats, including 9, who publicly signed a letter led by Representative Josh Gothenheimer, who are signaling the leadership that they will vote against the budget resolution unless the House is allowed an immediate up or down vote on the Senate infrastructure bill. Now, flip or flop, senior Democrats have privately told us that they think enough of those members, including some who will be feted at Pelosi's annual Napa fundraiser this weekend, will flip by next week. Remember, Democrats have a 3-vote margin on the floor right now. Now, what's next? House Democrats will have a private caucus call at noon today. So that's already taken place, you guys. Right now it is 1 p.m. Central Standard Time, and it is essential that we show the results. Pelosi told her leadership team Monday night. So literally, probably as you're watching this, we could be seeing some results coming out from this call. Biden's agenda needs to show the results that we know it can produce. So in other words, they all need to get on board if we're going to be seeing more infrastructure and stimulus. All right, you guys, so I would love to see your thoughts in the comments down below. Let me know what you think. Should we just go ahead and pass this $1 trillion infrastructure bill for roads, bridges, and highways, and then just trust that Democrats are going to be able to come together and agree on a stimulus package? Or do you agree with Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi that the Senate, they should work on getting the stimulus package ready, pass it on through to the House, and then that the House, they need to come to an agreement to pass them both together, tandem, infrastructure and stimulus provisions? Let me know your thoughts, guys. Also, right now, as the Senate is working on that stimulus package for $3.5 trillion, we're likely going to be seeing more details of what could be included. And right now, as you know, we have had a ton of new cases spread across the nation. I think the count yesterday was over 200,000, last I checked, of new cases of the pandemic, you guys. So if that is going to be happening, there's a good chance that we might need more stimulus provisions. Now, we will see, because if that happens, they might require more restrictions, as we've seen more mask mandates, more requirements for vaccines. Hopefully, we do not go the route of having more lockdowns. But if we do, we will definitely need to see more stimulus, you guys. So we're going to see what gets included in that stimulus package of $3.5 trillion. Currently, just to clarify, as it stands, the proposal does not include a fourth federal level stimulus check or an unemployment extension, which is the ones that I get asked about the most. However, as I mentioned, it could still be included. And we've seen in the past provisions get slipped in literally days before a bill gets passed into law. We saw that with the second stimulus check, as literally days before the official bill got passed into law, a stimulus check was included, you guys. So I'll be sure to keep you up to date here on the channel, let you know what happens. And as always, thank you guys so much for joining me. If you made it this far and you haven't already, don't forget to take a second to smash that like button. I would appreciate it. Tells YouTube you think I'm doing a good job, and in turn, they might share it out with other people. Also, leave your comments down below. Share this out if you think it's going to help out other people. And if this is your first time here, don't forget, hit the subscribe button, turn on that notification bell, come join the Ram fam. I'll keep you up to date on all this stuff so you know what's going on. And if you got any specific questions that you want me to answer, be sure to shoot them to me in the DM on Instagram at SteveRam3. That is by far the best way to get a hold of me if you got any specific questions for me. But with that being said, you guys, hope this reaches you well. I'll catch you in the next one. Take care. God bless. This is Steve.